when you are in Thailand, you don't have to worry on how to say hello. You don't have to worry on how to say good morning. You don't have to worry on how to say good afternoon, good evening, and even to say goodbye. Because we just say Saudi Cup. For the men, we just say, or they just say Saudi Cup. Okay, and for the ladies, they say Saudi Cup. Okay, so when you say hello, Saudi Cup, Saudi Cup. When you say goodbye, Saudi Cup. If you're a man, and if you're a lady, you just say Saudi Cup. Either hello, goodbye, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everything you just say Saudi Cup. It's easy, right? And I would like to take once again this opportunity for thanking you once again. And let me say this, I enjoy my stay here with you, and I enjoy parang ano lang, just like parang level lang tayo. And I really enjoy, especially when especially during the eating time, looking at this, looking at the people and enjoying eating. And I was thinking that the enjoyment of eating, it's just true in the Philippines, but here in Siyempre, and maybe whenever there's a Baptist church, it's always a bias of liking to eat. And we thank you for everything, and especially for family of Pastor Joel, Mama Rebel, Melka, Mr. John, and for everyone from my family. In the name of, in behalf of my family, the Tagarda family, thank you very much. And also for our American brethren here, thank you. Shall we stand, and may I request everyone to open the Bible. We already read the verses that we will be talking about this morning in Matthew chapter 15. Matthew chapter 15, verses 21 to verse 28 this morning. Okay, if there's someone who has the Bible, just please share the Bible with them this morning. Okay. Matthew chapter 15, verses 21 down to verse 28. Let me read the said verses and just follow with your eyes. Okay. Are you there? Yeah. Okay. Matthew chapter 15, verse 21. I'll be reading from verse 21 down to verse 58. Then Jesus went thence and departed into the coast of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying, Have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, Send her away, for she crieth after us. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then came she and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. But he answered and said, It is not meet to take the children's bread and to cast it to the dogs. And she said, Truth, Lord, and the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table. And it today. Then Jesus answered and said unto her, O woman, great is thy faith, be unto thee even as thou wilt. and her daughter was withheld from that very hour. This morning I'll be talking about the Canaanite woman contending for her faith. The Canaanite woman contending for her faith. Shall we pray? Lord God, truly you are marvelous, Lord God. You are mysterious. You are powerful. But love, but Lord God, you are a God of love, a God of grace, and a God of mercy, Lord. We thank you, Lord God, for coming to your Son. Lord, we thank you, Lord God, for your gratefulness. We thank you, Lord God, for what you did and what we will be doing, Lord God, in this church, Lord God. Thank you, Lord God, today. We will be celebrating, Lord God, the 30th year of church anniversary, Lord God. Lord, you have all the glory, Lord God. Lord God, we thank you, Lord God, in your presence and our presence this morning. And Lord God, may you, Lord God, bless the preaching of your word this morning. We pray for our hearts and our minds, Lord God, as we study your word this morning. Lord, we commit all these things in Jesus' name. Let the people say, Amen. You will take your seats now. Last night, we learned about because we would say there as the saddest word, the saddest statement. And that is, Sir, I had no man. Right? But today, we have this what we call, this may be the strangest thing Jesus ever said. Okay? It happened when Jesus ventured outside the confines of Israel and entered the Gentile region of Tyre and Sidon. And when we look at the how the Apostle Mark give us his version of the story, we learn that the reason why Jesus went to that post there, to that Gentile region, because of the reason that he wanted to get rest. But here, we know that, but it did not work because Jesus could not escape notice. After all the miracles, after all the signs and wonders that he performed, everywhere Jesus went, there's always people. Yeah. There's always multitude following him. Some just wanted to witness the miracles. Some want to experience, and like what Pastor said yesterday, some just would like to eat, just like the feeding of the multitude. But some who believe, and some wanted to be healed from their sickness and illness. Now, word has spread far and wide that Jesus has supernatural power to heal the sickness and raise the dead. Even in this Gentile territory, people knew about his ministry, and that's why one particular woman came to see him. This particular woman wanted Jesus to heal his sick daughter. Okay? And she is called a Canaanite woman, meaning she descended from the Canaanites in the Old Testament, who were mortal enemies of the Jewish people. She had many things going against her that day. Jesus came to that territory for the purpose to rest and not to minister. She came to that place not to heal sickness. He came to that place not to perform miracles, but for the sole purpose of resting. Just to rest. Okay? Just to rest. And that's one of the odds this woman is facing on that day. She was a pagan and not a Jew. She was a woman and not a man. Especially that she is a pagan woman. And she is is not a Jewish woman. Although there was no reason to think that Jesus would help her, she came because Jesus were her last resort. Jesus was her last hope. She was totally helpless. She was in great desperation. She was in total need. And when she knew that Jesus is coming, and she said, "Oh, this is the time. This is the moment. This is my hope. This is my chance to have my daughter healed from the vexation of the devil." Now, the story of Matthew tells it and begins this way in Matthew chapter 15, verse 21. And then Jesus went thence and departed into the coast of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying, "Have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David, my daughter is grievously vexed with a devil." For a parent, my beloved, we can understand that. We can understand the desperation of a parent who is having his daughter or his son getting healed. How far will you go to help your son or daughter? It's not a matter of time or distance or money just to have your daughter or son get healed and see a doctor. It doesn't matter at all. When your son is sick or your daughter is ill, nothing matters except getting them well again.
Yeah, that's right.
Every time my first child, every time he's just a little bit of just sickness. My wife easily got trouble. Right? For mother, every time his daughter or his son or her son got sick, it will always trouble her. It will always trouble her. When your child is sick, you don't care about test results, you don't care about x-rays, you don't care about CT scans, you don't care about the laboratory test results. You will just care, and you will just ask, "Is my daughter going to be healed?" That's the most important. You don't care how much is the x-ray, how much is the CT scan, how much is the medicine. You don't even get to the point of borrowing money just your daughter or your son get healed. Right? People just want to know one thing: is my child going to be all right and nothing else?
Right.
And you can see how desperate is this woman, how desperate is this mother. You see, we love miracle story because they have happy endings, right? We love some telenovela, right? Just like the Korean telenovela, right?
Amen.
And but you know, this one starts in a strange way. Jesus' response to this woman seemed peculiar and perhaps even cruel. Can you imagine the response of Jesus to this woman? It seems to be heartless. It seems to be cruel. And you might ask, does Jesus care? Did our Lord not believe her story? Did He not care of her daughter? But you know, my beloved, but you see, Jesus treated every person he met as an individual. Jesus looked at every person a unique individual. That's why every time he meets a person, he treated that person individually and in a very unique way. And that's why in this particular story, Jesus treated her a different way. He dealt Nicodemus one way, another way with the woman at the well, yet another with the blind and the lame, and yet another way how he treated Zacchaeus, right?
Yeah, right.
He treated them differently. He met people where they were up and found a way to communicate divine truth to each and every one of them.
Amen.
Every time Jesus deals with them in a different way, he communicated different divine truths in every situation. Right? So if you will agree with that.
Amen.
And how, to understand how Jesus with this Canaanite woman, let's ask and answer key questions about the story. Okay, in verse 23 here. But he answered her not a word, and his disciples came and besought him, saying, "Send her away, for she cried after us." My question is, why was Jesus silent? Why was Jesus silent? The Bible says, but he answered her not a word. Can you imagine when you're a friend, when someone talks to you and that person will not respond to you? Can you imagine that? And how you feel? You're talking and talking and talking, and this person is not responding, is not talking. And I remember when my wife was talking to me, and I said, "Oh, honey, honey," and then I just turned my face and other thing and everything. You're not listening to me, right? Because people wants to be heard.
Yes.
They want you to listen to them while they're talking to them, and then they want you to have this eye contact to them.
Yeah.
But the Bible says Jesus was silent. Jesus was silent. Nothing, my friend, nothing terrifies the soul like the silence of heaven. Nothing terrifies a Christian. Nothing terrifies a believer. Nothing terrifies a person. When you pray to God and ask God for something, and then there's this total silence. There's no answer from heaven. Right?
Right.
It happens to all of us from time to time. We wait and pray and seek the Lord, and yet the heaven is of deafening silence. Jesus did not speak immediately to this woman, okay? But he heard everything she said. Sometimes someone's talking to us and then, "Did you hear me?" "What?" And sometimes you say, "Yes, I hear you. I hear you." "What I'm talking?" Because we're not listening." But here, the Jesus did not say anything, but he was listening to this woman. He was listening. Sometimes we pray, sometimes we ask something for God, and then we say, "Oh God, where are you?" You're not listening, but God is listening. He is listening to us. His silence was meant to draw out her faith.
Yes.
Her her silence. His silence was meant to draw out her faith.
Amen.
God's silence does not always mean God's refusal.
Right.
It doesn't mean that God is silent, that He refused to answer your prayer.
Right.
Yeah.
Amen.
It doesn't mean that God is silent, that heaven is silent, that He's not listening to you.
Yeah.
His no doesn't always mean no.
Yeah.
It often means not this. Because sometimes we say, oh Lord, give me this. God said, not this. Okay? Not this. And often it says, not now. Wait. Not now.
Right.
You have to wait first, not this. You're afraid, Lord, give me this. Give me a boyfriend. Oh Lord, give me a girlfriend. Lord, can you give him to me? Lord, can you give her to me? The Lord says, not this. Not this. Or maybe, not now. Finish first your studies. Work, find a work, find a job. Not this, not now. And God said, not yet. Sometimes we are too in a hurry. We're so happy. And God said, not yet, not yet. As far as the disciples are concerned, she was just a strange, sad, pagan woman who keep bothering them. Look at this one in 20 and 22. And he answered her not a word, and his disciples came and besought him, saying, send her away, for she cried after us. For the disciples, the very disciples of Christ, these people, it's just like, she's nothing. She's just a stranger. She's a pagan. But you know, sometimes because she's crying and this disciple said, shh, keep quiet. Jesus is resting. Jesus is just wanting to rest. Can you keep quiet? Oh, sir, can I go to her? Can I go to him? I want something from him. I want to talk to him. No. Our Lord needs to rest. Jesus is putting this woman's faith on trial. Will she turn away in despair? Or will she keep on asking and contend for her faith?
Amen.
You know, at first you will see, when she approached the disciples, the disciples said, send her away! By that alone, you will be discouraged. By that alone, you will get angry and turn away. Or you have to contend for your faith. Faith only grows when it is tested.
Amen.
Untested faith is a wait. Faith. Faith only grows when it is tested. Second question. Why did Jesus call her a dog? First, Jesus was silent. Second, why Jesus called her a dog? I guess this is no doubt is the greatest challenge of the story. In verse 56, but he answered and said, it is not meet to take the children's bread and to cast it to the dogs. The word dog here refers to household pets, and not to street dogs or in Filipino ascas. The dogs here are called puppies, but he called the woman a dog. Even if this dog is like is a puppy or a Shih Tzu or whatever kind of dog. But would you consider yourself to be a dog or a child in a house? How do you consider yourself? Do you want to be considered as a dog or a puppy or a child of that household? Would you rather be considered a child of the table or a puppy fighting for a promise? Now there are two truths stand behind these statements. Number one is that Jesus was a Messiah. When I said that this woman, when he considered this woman as a dog, there are two truths behind this. Number one, Jesus was a Messiah. He came in fulfillment of all the Old Testament promises made to Israel. That's why Jesus said, he said he was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. I was not sent by God for the Gentiles, but for the house of Israel. I have no business with you, in other words. I have no dealings with you. I came for the house of Israel. That's why he considers this lady, this woman, a dog. And Paul mentioned this in Romans chapter 1 verse 16. And what is that verse? I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believeth. And what does it say? To the Jews first, and also to the Greek. But that verse says, He came first for them. He came first for the house of Israel, but He did not come only for them. Okay? True. God came first for the house of Israel, but He did not come for only for them. He said also, and also to the Greek, and also to the Gentiles, and also for us, for me and you this morning.
Amen.
He came to save you. From the beginning of time, God has already in mind not to save only the house of Israel, but also to save the Gentiles, the Filipinos, the Americans, every Gentile people. The Thai people, the Cambodian people. They say that when you have a mission, when you want to start a mission in Thailand, sometimes it's like insurmountable. It's almost impossible. You can see the mission, how the gospel in Thailand, it's like crawling. It's crawling. And I said, when you have this crowd, this is already a big church, a mega church in Thailand. You have 50, it's already a mega church in Thailand. Usually you can have only 10, you can only 15. And I'm working with, right now, I'm also working with a Thai pastor. He's a good preacher, a good man. He has a big church. But you can just imagine, every Sunday we only have an average of 15 people. It is difficult, but my beloved, it is not impossible.
That's right.
Difficult. And every time I can see Thai people coming and surrender their lives, I am encouraged. Lord, help me. Help me, Lord. Second, Jesus wanted this woman to understand her true condition. No one has any claim on the goodness of God. You cannot say that I deserve the goodness of God because I have this accomplishment, I have this achievement. No one can claim the goodness of God. No one. No one deserves heaven. We do not deserve grace. We deserve the wrath of God, the punishment of hell. If you say, I want something that I deserve, my beloved, you deserve, and I deserve hell. I don't deserve heaven. Sometimes I deserve this. You say that. But my beloved, we don't deserve anything from God. We don't deserve to be justified. We don't deserve to be declared righteous in the sight of God. We don't deserve salvation. We don't deserve to be the house, the tabernacle of the Holy Spirit. We don't deserve. But because of the grace of God, amen, by grace alone, amen, through faith. When Jesus compares the Gentile to dog, he's asking this woman to admit her true condition. Jesus wants this woman to admit that he needs Christ, that it is not because of her goodness or whatever that can merit her the presence of the Lord, to have an audience with the Lord, but simply to acknowledge that he needs God. The result turns out to be a probing question. It's another way of saying, do you admit that you are a sinner? In desperate need of God's grace? Now, if the answer is yes, then you can do business with God.
Yeah. That's right.
You don't deserve audience. You don't deserve the goodness of God. You don't deserve the grace of God. If you said, I deserve the mercy of God, you don't have the business with God. But when you say, Lord, I don't deserve, then you can have as much as grace as you can. In verse 27, and she said, Truth, Lord, yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table. They said, Truth, Lord, yes, Lord, you are right. Yes, Lord, I am a dog. I am nothing. I am a cast out. I have no claim on your grace. I don't deserve your salvation. I don't deserve your grace. I don't deserve your love. I don't deserve your mercy. You have no reason to listen to me. You have no reason, heaven, to heal my daughter. But she said, my beloved, yet the dogs ate of the crumbs which fall from the master's table. Wow. Can you imagine that when someone told you, oh, do not deserve this, go out! You don't deserve even the crumbs. You don't deserve the grace from the table of God. But this woman said, oh, true, Lord. You are true. I don't deserve your grace, but even the dogs will eat the crumbs that falls from the master's table. You see this woman? She's asking for crumbs of grace. He said, just Lord, Jesus, just give me this little grace. Lord, just give me this little compassion. Lord, just give me your little time. She accepts her position, admits her need, agrees with Jesus, and never, never, never give up. Never give up. Verse 28. Then Jesus answered and said unto her, O woman, great is thy faith. There are only two things that amaze God. Do you know that? There are two things that even amaze God, that surprise God. Number one is our unbelief. That? In Mark chapter 6, he was surprised when he came to that, there's a certain region there, and he performed miracles. And he wanted to perform more great miracles, but he was constrained. He was so amazed of this unbelief of the people. Another thing that amazed God is our great faith. That's why he said here in verse 27 and in verse 28, O woman, great is thy faith. Be it unto thee even as thou wilt, and her daughter was withheld from that very hour.
Amen.
This is the only time Jesus used this particular word, faith, where it is translated mega faith. This is the only time in the Bible where it is mentioned, this kind of faith, where God, the woman, you have this mega faith. Hindi yung klaseng mega faith na may tatakban ko. This is the only time in the Bible. And can you imagine this mega faith, this kind of faith came from a woman and not from a man? It's amazing. Because sometimes our faith, sometimes the faith of my wife is greater than my faith. That's what I related to the first night, first night when my pastor invited the men, can you come with me? And we will have a mission trip in Thailand and Cambodia, Vietnam. Nobody responded, but only my wife. Because she has a greater faith than me. As I look at the crowd now, you can see a lot of ladies here. And even in many churches around the world, mostly comprises of ladies, women. Why? Because of their great faith in God.
Amen.
I'm going to discount the faith of the men. Big faith. He said it. Jesus said it to a Gentile, not to a Jew.
Yes.
He said it to an outsider, not an insider. He said it to a pagan who believed, and not to a priest. Can you imagine this? Before this event, he has this contention with the Pharisees and the scribes who think themselves to be right with men and in God and towards God. They think themselves to be right. But in many occasions in the Bible, God described these Pharisees and told them in front of them, you hypocrites.
Yeah.
He said, lady, woman, you have this great faith. And this lady is an outsider. She is not an Israel. She is an outsider. She's a pagan. Pagan. In 1548, Thomas Cranmer wrote a prayer based on this story about this Canaanite woman. And it is called the prayer of humble access. And it begins this way. It said, "We do not presume to come to your table, merciful Lord, trusting in our own goodness, but in all your embracing love and mercy. We are not worthy even to gather up the crumbs under your table, but it is your nature always to have mercy." Praise the Lord that it is God's nature. It is His character to be merciful, to be a God of love, to be a God of mercy and tender, and who answers our prayer, and who saves us. He wants us to be saved.
Yes.
That's why He sent His Son to seek and to save that which was lost. He came to save you. Is there any other God who saves us? There's no other God who cares for us. There's no other God who wants to have this closer, intimate relationship with a creation. It is only this Creator God. And yet we turn away. We walk away from His love. Right? And we choose to love the world. Sometimes we refuse to accept His love. How can we turn back from the mercy of God, my beloved? How can we neglect a great salvation that is free, offered to us? Now let us summarize a few things we learned in this story, and we close this morning. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. Number one, are you still there?
Amen.
Still there. Since that it's not only Jesus Christ who is silent, but also the people that are silent.
Don't worry, sir, we're listening.
Okay. Okay, let us summarize a few things we learned from this story, from the story of this Canaanite woman. Number one, no one is beyond the reach of God's grace.
Amen.
Even to the people who today seem to be hopeless and far away. You say, "Oh, I do not need God. I have everything. I can buy anything I want in life." Or maybe you are sad, you are desperate this morning, and it seems that life offers you no hope. And maybe you said, "Oh, maybe this is the last day." I remember a story about a businessman in the south. He owns many businesses there, and he got hotels, he got superstores, he got many businesses. But one day, he got so hopeless. And he went to his Mitsubishi car and then sleep there in a parking lot of their hotel. And the caretaker who noticed his car, because on that day there was a great activity and they need to use that parking lot there. So when he saw the car of his boss, he knocked on the door, the car's door. But there was no response. And when he tried to open, it is not locked. He opened the door and saw his boss sleeping. He thought that his boss was just asleep. And when he tried to awaken his boss, he found out that his boss was already dead. And beside his boss, he saw this charcoal, like a camping oven or camping stove. Still, the charcoal still warm. He was suffocated with the smoke of the charcoal. And that is one of the number one. They use that in Japan. They use the charcoal to commit suicide. For being hopeless. Nobody cares for them. Beloved, no one is beyond the reach of God's grace. Even Paul, when he considered himself the chiefest of the rich, the chiefest of the sinners, still God, the hand of God, was able to reach him. Amen. And he was saved and used by God. Number 2, when we come to God, we must come on His terms, not on ours. As long as we think we deserve salvation, we will be turned away.
Yeah.
And sometimes we come to God, Lord, I want to ask, I want to be saved. I want to receive you as my Lord and Savior. But Lord, but we want to come to God on our own terms. But my beloved, that is not the way we should come to God, believing that He is. Sometimes we want to come to God. I need first to clean up my life. I want to do this first. I want to do this first. I want to stop doing this first, and then later, maybe, hopefully, I will come to God. But my beloved, that is not how it works with God. You come to God in His own terms, not on our own. That's why when we come to God, we surrender our lives. We empty our lives. Okay? Number 3, Jesus invites us to come to Him for the mercy we need whenever we need it. Do you know that the first invitation and the last invitation of God, of Jesus Christ? His first invitation is what? Come. Jesus said, come. And His last invitation is in Revelation. He said, come. Just come. This morning, why not come to God? And receive Him as your Lord and personal Savior. And acknowledge that you are a sinner this morning. And you cannot go to heaven without Jesus Christ. He is the only way to God. He is the truth and the life. Jesus invites us to come to Him for the mercy we need whenever we need it. Number 4, anyone can have a mega faith if you will come to Jesus on His terms and never give up.
Amen.
You will say, oh, that is impossible. I cannot have that mega faith. I cannot have even just maybe a half of that mega faith. But when you come to Jesus, you can have that mega faith when you come to Jesus in His own terms and allow Him to work in your life. And acknowledge Him. Acknowledge Him. My beloved, contending our faith. My beloved, this morning, are you like this Canaanite woman? Do you have need in your life? Just like the songs that we heard this morning and the other night, that only there is this, is there a vacuum in your heart? That you're looking for something That's why you always do something, you travel a lot, because there's something that you want, you're looking for something in your life. But my beloved, only Jesus can fill that vacuum in your life.
Yes.
Come to Him. He's the only answer. He's the only way to the Father. He is the only truth. If you're looking for truth this morning, come to Jesus.
Amen.
He's the only truth. Are you in many ways this morning? I have this way, I have this way, I have so many ways in life, I have so many plans in my life. God says, I am the way. Come to my way. Sometimes we want, God has put us in a way. This is your way, but sometimes we want to take that other way. I want that way. I want that way, but God said, no, this is the way that leads to the Father. Jesus is the author and finisher of our faith. That's why in our life, we have to look at Him. Paul is reminding us in heaven to look unto Jesus. When you walk in life, when you run in life, be sure to have to keep your eyes on the prize, and that prize is Jesus Christ. My beloved, why not decide this morning? For our visitors, why not decide this morning to receive Jesus Christ as your Lord and personal Savior? Are you looking for something? Only God can satisfy us. Only Jesus can fully satisfy us. He is enough for us. He is enough for you this morning. So why not receive this morning? If you have not committed yet your life to God, and said you're just half-hearted this morning, why not commit fully your life to God? Lord, I want to serve you. Lord, I want to be used by you. I want to be a conduit of your love and grace. Lord, use me. Lord, fill me with your love, with your grace, with your knowledge, and nurture me, Lord God, with your word. I hope that's the desire of your heart. Pastor Jude.
Amen. Thank you, sir.